And also, I didn't come for any of these people. Day one, literally came for every single person as they walked in the room.
For no purpose at all.
Yeah,
no purpose at all.
We will get to this. We will get to this.
Yeah.
Oh, like that's down here.
Down there.
Thank you, producer.
Thank you, producer. Thank you, Five.
All right, here we go.
Already digressing a lot, but it's fine.
Hey, it's her job to edit.
Yeah.
Not mine.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right, are we rolling?
Welcome to Drag Race RuView.
We won't get sued.
This show is in no way affiliated with Rupauls Drag Race, RuPaul, Charles, or anyone associated with anything that we talk about on this screen. This is purely the abandonings and bruisings of two local DMV drag queens. Please pay them no mind and don't sue them as they have no money. Thank you.
Welcome back to Drag Race RuView. I'm your host, Logan Stone, and as always, I'm joined by my drag daughter and a hateful shrew of a person, Tidffany D Carter.
How dare you call me your own nickname?
That's fair.
Yeah, you're the hateful shrew.
You call me that all the time.
Literally every day.
I just wanted you to know how it feels.
Lovely.
And we are also joined by a very special guest this week. We had our show together, as you all may or may not know.
Probably not.
Probably not, because it wasn't on YouTube ever. It was our Drag Race Review UK edition, but I got too stressed and didn't feel like editing it. So here we are with our extra special guest, Dmanda Martini!
Hi! I just have to say that even though our show was canceled before it even aired, like many pilots, I am still very grateful the fact that you had me sign up for WoW Presents, because now I watch the UK, which is so much more entertaining than this season.
It really, really is. And
Especially
I'm
this
so
episode.
glad that we were able to upgrade our technology from last week. If you guys can't tell, we're not even in the same location right now. This is all green screen. Speaking of last week...
Wait, you just changed the set?
You may or may not have missed us from last week's episode when I was unavailable for reasons that are my own, and Tidffany was in charge of the episode.
All I'll say is never work with children, animals, or Emerald Star.
So ladies, let's get into it. We all know what happened in Untucked last week. Tamisha Aman versus Candy Muse. What are our thoughts?
I'm Team Tamisha. Like, if I don't like you, I don't like you. And I'm gonna say that to you.
And I don't like you.
I was not talking to you.
Now get out.
It's not your house.
You're fired.
This is not your house.
Dmanda, you can stay.
You can all still leave at any moment.
This is not just your house.
I'm not a huge fan of Candy Muse. There's something about her that strikes me as not a very
Genuine.
Yeah, genuine. Like, they're gonna say a bunch of shit, and then you're gonna call them out on their shit, and then they're gonna be mad at you for calling them out, and then call you a bunch of names, and it's just like at that point, as a grown, almost years old person, like,
You have to beep your own self out.
yeah, that's somebody that I'm just like, I am not going to engage with you ever. And I understand that in this environment, obviously you have to. Like, you have to. Like, there's kind of no way around it. And Tamisha, who is a 49-year-old grown...
She's a grown-ass woman.
With 3 fucking grown adult children who are older than most of these contestants, that... You know, that she's trying to say something that is a little more constructive, but it still came out because I think, like, it's hit her, like, right here where she's like, much like my favorite movie, Mommy Dearest. Sometimes there's nothing you can do except for to choke your daughter through a glass table. Like,
I absolutely, like, I am Team Tamisha here. I think that, like, Candy is being very arrogant, and I think that she's treating arrogant as, like, the worst name you could possibly call her ever. Like, you might as well just stab her eyes out with a dull spoon than call her arrogant when she's literally being arrogant.
There were a couple things that Tamisha did in her approach that I really appreciated. Like, giving props where props are due. I could not like you, but still be like, bitch, I mean, you turned it out. Like, kudos to you. And she did that. But also something that was very, very adult that we got this week, and the continuation of Untouched, is when she rehashed, like, this is what I said, and then Candy said, no, you did this, and she's like, that's what you heard. Which I thought was very adult, to be like, these are the words I was saying. What you took from that
What's that?
was, I'm bashing you. And I'm not bashing you. What I said was, you're not my favorite.
And you could
But-
actually even see that Candy, when Tamisha said that's what you heard, was like
Fully
rolled her
yeah.
eyes and was like, well, what I heard is what I heard.
Yeah.
But not understanding what Tamisha was
Exactly.
saying. Hopefully we moved on from it. Obviously we're not gonna get much resolution out of it, and I don't think that we really
I mean,
I thought we got a nice resolution.
I mean, I'm sure on the reunion we're gonna talk about it some more.
yeah. And
So-
I think
she may
I
not
think
want
we
to
should.
talk about it, but we're gonna talk
We're
about it.
gonna talk about it. All right, so moving on from the drama, let's get right into the mini challenge. We had the wallpaper on wallpaper challenge. If you guys had this challenge, is there like a shape that you would go for with your silhouette, working with paper?
So when they announced what the challenge was, what Elliot and Tamisha did was what I would do. Like you want
Big
like
structure.
like a big structure because it's paper. It's not fabric. It doesn't like do whatever. And also, as somebody who isn't like a body queen, I say as I'm wearing a sheer top. But like I don't typically like present a lot of bodies, so it's like let me give you like this structure and these angles and all of that stuff. And I've done challenges kind of like that before, where it's like you still want to make a garment, but you want to make it like the fabric that you have, the material that you have. You want to use what's good about that material. And wallpaper is very stiff. You can get nice angles and all of that stuff.
Right. How about you?
So I think something that's a little bit lost in this challenge is that it's two parts. There is the person that's wearing the garment, serving the garment, and everything. I'm sure both people, or three people in some cases, had a hand in making it. But I would actually just really want to be the person that's on the side giving the commentary. Because a big part of this challenge is using your words, which I just wasn't doing. A big part of this challenge is using your words and really selling it and making Ru laugh. I know I'm much stronger with my words than I am with glue, sewing, or anything. So I'm like, let me be the commentary. You, Logan, go stand in front of the thing.
I would definitely want to be the model here. Like, I could probably make my way through it, but like we all know, I'm not the comedy queen here. But I have to agree with Dmanda. Like, I would have went with like big, strong silhouettes like what they did, because paper is so much structure. There's so much structure there that you can work with and do some really cool, fun stuff, even in like 20 minutes, you know? Like, all they did was fucking make a triangle and glue it to her fucking chest. So I know you already said that Elliot with 14 T's and Tamisha was your favorite. Did you have a favorite paper look?
No.
That's fair. I actually really like Gottmix. I didn't care for their commentary, but if I had to pick it from a fashion standpoint, I love the bow. I love that they took like the chance to cut out a flower and like make it the center of the bow. Like, there was a lot of attention to detail that I really liked, but I enjoyed the structure a lot of Elliot's. The rest I didn't care for.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. I don't think anything really exciting happens in the preparation for the main challenge. So,
So they stayed in like their same groups from the mini challenge. And so they were all given different like periods of disco or like comments on disco for a reason that will never be known to us.
they were just randomly decided. If you had to pick, what era would you have liked?
Again, to me, and I know I'm like kind of spoiling the episode, but like it was a moot point because like nothing about what they presented on the stage correlated with what they were told to present. So it's all kind of like cool, like because like disco sucks is actually like a pretty like cool. I guess cool meaning like you can kind of talk about it because like it was very deeply rooted, like kind of Root said in the episode. It's very deeply rooted in homophobia and racism, and it was these white dudes in the Midwest who were like, no, disco's terrible music, even though disco's fun. Like, it's not the best. Again, like saying something's the best is also stupid. Yeah. But like the fact that it wasn't like the rock music that was becoming, that was like popular at the time, like and that we're now building up to like the heavy metal of like the 80s, which gets us into like hair metal, which hair metal also is super gay.
Yeah.
Have you seen those people?
Right.
No.
Do you know what they looked like?
No.
This.
No.
They looked like this. They were full on drag
And this
race.
is cool?
It was.
This was probably the most boring performance that we've ever seen come out of Drag Race.
Why weren't they lip syncing?
So why weren't they lip syncing? And why were some of them handicapped with props? And some not handicapped with props?
Right, like having to learn how to hula hoop
Yeah.
and do this versus like using a fan. It's like I didn't understand anything that was happening here. There was no real way to judge like who was doing better than anybody else. Like there was no real big performance aspect of it.
There was no story to tell.
Yeah.
So like even with like, you know, the Madonna or the Cher or, you know, whatever, there was time periods that you were going through. There are iconic looks that you're hitting. There's all this stuff. And no one had like an iconic disco look. They all looked
The same. They all looked the same.
Disco-ish. They all looked like they were trying to have fun. But it was very boring. There was no clear story. There was no delineation between why this dance is different than this dance is different than this dance and how it connects to the category that they were given. Like the sex one with hula hoops.
Right.
It just, this whole challenge did not make sense. It was just bad.
There
was no redeeming it here.
Bad from conception to performance.
Honestly, Ru should have gone home for this one.
Right. So let's just stop talking about it because there's really nothing more to say than it was bad. We have a winner for the challenge. It's Olivia Lux.
She is somebody because her smile is so infectious
Yeah.
that I agree. So in the theater, when you're not liking something and then you have to go see your friend in a show, you're like, it looked like you were having a great time up there.
Right.
That's what I want to say to Olivia Lux. It looked like you were having a great time.
I will say of everybody that I saw, Olivia really went for it. Like she was having a good time and you could tell. And I think so were Denali and Rose.
And also, even though I don't like her, Tina Burner was also having a good time.
Yeah.
But that's because her dress spoke for her.
That's true.
And even though I hated the colors, it had all
stunning.
it had all of that movement and all of that fun to
So
it.
this outfit was actually really stunning, and I would have loved it if this was even the second time that I've seen that color pattern. I would have been like, this is cute though.
Yeah.
I've seen this color pattern every day for the last month and a half. I'm over it. But I would say, you know, I love her to death, but, you know, Olivia won because someone had to this week.
Yeah, someone had to win.
I love Olivia, and I think, you know, you make a good point of, like, she was really enjoying herself. Dmanda, you, like, yeah, she had a great time. I almost think that since we got a little bit of her backstory and the mirror moments when they're getting ready, like, we get a little bit of her history of she's been performing her whole life.
Yeah.
I think she's used to, like, have fun while you're doing it and show that you're having fun, that, like, it actually paid off for her.
And look like you're having a good time when this makes no sense and it's fucking terrible.
So
I've been in many of those
Look,
shows.
I was gonna say, you know she's been in some bullshit shows.
Yeah,
She's like,
yeah.
let's enjoy it.
I mean, you know, she was in like Rent and Schenectady. Like she, you know, it's so she's like, this is terrible, but you know what? This wig is bouncy, and I'm smiling, and I'm having a good ass time. So good on her, but the whole challenge was
Which
terrible.
also makes her more of that, like, as a viewer, love her. As a fellow competitor, I'm just like, oh my god, this disco shit is stupid. Of course you fucking enjoy this. Like, I hate you, you
Right.
stupid, ever-loving, hopeful bitch. Like,
Right. She's like so positive all the time, but
right.
we love her.
She's eternal sunshine.
So we have our bottom two for the challenge. It's Tamisha and Candy. And do you guys think that those two were the right people to be in the bottom? Should there have been anybody else there?
So I think someone else should have been in the bottom. I am glad she wasn't, because she would have been gone. But Utica should have been in the bottom. And she would have lost that lip sync hands down. Oh my god, but I would have paid good money to see Utica lip sync hit 'em up style. That would have been hilarious for all the wrong reasons.
I honestly don't know, because no one, aside from the people that we've already mentioned, as far as like tops were concerned, I literally don't remember anybody else's performance. When they were announced as the bottom, I just kind of went,
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah, sure.
like, I don't necessarily agree, because I don't think they did. terribly.
There was nothing to judge.
Yeah, in the challenge, and their looks weren't terrible.
What looks?
Which we'll get to the runway. They weren't terrible.
We'll get to it.
So, but I'm just like, meh.
All right, so let's talk about this runway for the episode. The theme is Little Black Dress. What were your thoughts on this category?
So, to match the boringness of this episode, they picked the most boring category to have on the runway, which is the little black dress, which is super basic, because if it's not a little black dress, then
what is it?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's like,
how can you get creative?
Is it the little Gucci dress? The little Gucci dress? Or the little Gucci dress? Like, it's very that.
Right. Quite literally. There's no, like, you can try and have like a nice silhouette and do something cute. And I think some of them do come up with some creative solutions to this problem. But I don't think that there are many options for being amazingly creative as you can be with, you know, here's a bunch of bags, create something like Utica did for that with this category. So first up we have Tina Burner.
Hate it, hate it, hate it. I hate everything she does. Hate it.
I hate this.
I hate it. We'll
Terrible. Next up, it's Candy Muse.
I like it.
Asha better work.
Right. Oh, girl.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it, except for the wig.
So next up, it's Gottmik.
I love this so much. It's a great spin on a way too little black dress.
I love this.
I do love it. However, throwing 2 pieces of fabric on a naked body.
Next up, it's Elliot with 87 T's.
It happened.
I love it. I think she looks really good here.
I love the jacket, but that's not the point.
It's a very nice black dress.
Okay.
But I can also buy that on Amazon.
That part. Then we have Tamisha Aman.
Hate it.
Hate it.
I do not like it. I don't know if I want to say hate it, but I don't like it. It's like...
It's just so basic. And then we have Olivia Lux.
I love this hair.
I love this hair too.
I love this hair.
So we hate the look. Great.
Next up, it's Utica Queen.
This idea is so cool, just not executed the greatest.
I love it, but I wish it was more obvious what she had been doing.
Agreed, all of those things.
Now we have Denali.
This is how you do a Black Widow. This is so cool. That beating is exquisite. I love it.
This is my favorite look on the runway this week. Love it.
Agreed.
Love it.
Now we have Rose.
Awful.
Hate it.
What's with the... Trend alert, ruffles.
Then we have La Ree.
It's little black dress, not little black t-shirt. Hate it.
Yeah, hate it.
If you have to keep pulling at your dress, it's too short.
And lastly, we have Simone.
I love the hair.
I love this whole thing.
I love it.
It's safe.
So, who was your favorite look on the runway?
Denali.
Denali was my favorite because it's the only one that I really loved.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tamisha versus Candy, lip sync for your life. Tamisha goes home, Candy stays. Was this the right choice? Did the right person go home?
I think 2 people should have gone home because Hit 'Em Up Style is such a classic gay song. I know every gay black boy at least was just like, bitch, yes, this is my shit. And they just weren't severing it to me. That should have been a double elimination.
Really? You think double elimination?
I was really ready to say bye to both of them. Boring challenge, boring runway, boring lip sync. Go home, both of you.
Personally, I preferred Tamisha's performance over Candy. So if they were going to pick somebody, I would have picked Tamisha to stay.
I honestly don't remember it.
My point. But like, me and my friend were talking because we were watching it together, and we were both like, bitch, when I was 8 years old and I had no idea what the fuck Blue Cantrell was going through.
When I was a full adult in college.
I was in elementary school.
But like, I was fully like listening to this song and you could not tell me shit. I was fully like singing my heart out. Just like, I don't know what bills are, but I paid them a month too late. Mm-hmm. I don't know who Zoe or Mia are, but I'm picking them up. And like, I used to
Her name
live
is
for that song.
Soleil, not Zoe.
Oh, excuse me.
It's Soleil.
I told you I know who she was. It's a shame we had to play these games. What games? It wasn't Monopoly, but I was playing them.
Yep.
Thank you.
I will say though, the biggest thing that I really respect of Tamisha is hugging Candy and just being like, we're good, whatever, bye. But then just being like, you know what? I'm good. I'm happy with what I did. Let me go home and get ready for All Stars. And I'm like, you know what? This is a bitch that knows when to bow out, but know that she is not done. She's coming back.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till All Stars 27 to see her.
Tamisha will be on All Stars.
Yeah.
I think that we see definitely in this season and season 12 two casts of incredibly strong performers where any of them could be on an All-Star season. And that's our episode. Thank you so much for joining us on RuPaul's Drag Race RuView. I'm your host, Logan Stone. Dmanda, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for having me. And you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, all of the things, Dmanda Martini.
We're looking at the quotes
All
that are
these are
about
the
to appear
links.
on the screen.
The links that will never happen.
The links that will never happen.
And thank you so much to my standing host, Miss Tidffany D Carter.
Thank you, and join us next week when all the girls have to tape a CoverGirl commercial, and they only have 30 minutes to learn all of their lines.
Girl,
How
I'm
would
pretty
this
sure
turn out?
that's top model.
I was rooting for you!
Anyway, bye!